Hi guys, in one of my previous video about 775 DC motors, I showed you that those motors from China. In my case, I bought those motors from Banggood. They do not perform the same way. In that video I compared 4 of those motors and they all performed in a different way, drawing different amount of current and also other characteristics. So one of my viewers asked me if I could measure the RPM for the only motor that was working according to the specifications, and is this specific one. This motor at 12 volts draws about 230-250 milliamps, and just for comparison, this one draws 850 milliamps at 12 volts. So yeah, he asked me if I could measure the RPM for this one at 12 volts and 24 volts. So I thought I could record a video and also show you this contactless tachometer also from Banggood. If I'm not wrong, it costs about $14, and for this price I think that's a must-have. It's quite useful and you can measure the RPM of a DC motor with no load. So let me first show you that those motors, they draw different amount of current at 12 volts, and after you measure the RPM at 12 volts and 24 volts for this specific one. So let me put here aside. Let me grab this holder so I can hold the motor in here. So let's start with this one. This one should draw 800 milliamps at 12 volts. So let's turn on the power supply. So it's 24 volts. Let's adjust this for 12 volts. Let's grab some leads. Okay, here we go. So let's plug here, plug the positive and negative in the motor. And now let's see at 12 volts. So as you guys can see, this motor here at 12 volts does 800 milliamps. Now let's have a look at the second one. It should draw about 200 milliamps. And let's see, positive is top. Let's connect the cables again. You guys gonna see that, gonna hear that the noise of this motor is quite different if you compare with this one. So, and it draws 200 milliamps at 12 volts. So now let's measure the RPM of this motor, and I'm gonna use this contactless tachometer. So we need to put a piece of tape in the shaft. So in this way you can use this tachometer. So let's put this piece of tape in here, and the tachometer is quite simple. I have a on-off button here, and display lights on and off. And here in the memory you can have maximum, minimum, and last measurement, and also the average. So to take the measurement, we just press and hold this on button. So let's turn on the motor. So now let's press and hold here, point to the tape, the shaft. So as you guys can see, let me go back in here, 3600 RPM at 12 volts. So now let's have a look at 24 volts. 7,200 RPM. That's really close to the specification for this motor on Banggood website. But it's quite funny that this I have 6 of those motors, and that's the only one that works according to the specifications. All the others, they have a higher RPM, and also does a lot of current, much more than what is supposed to be according to the specification. So here in the tachometer you see the maximum RPM, the minimum. The minimum was at 12 volts, so 3,600, and the last measurement that was at 24 volts, 7,270 RPM. The average in this case is not important for us because we're measuring different voltage, but in some situations this option is also really useful. So guys, that's it. I just would like to show you the contactless tachometer, and I also answered one of my viewers that asked me to measure the RPM for this specific motor at 12 volts and 24 volts. So that's it. I catch you next time.